Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Aviation Pro live stream. It's been a while ago since I did a live stream, so bear with me. I'm trying to set things up. I'm kind of wondering where my beautiful banner is that I always had on those live streams. Anyhow, I think this will work out. I'm just using Google Hangouts again. Let me know if the audio is okay. If I need to adjust anything, I think it should be fine. Oh, there we go. There's already some people in the chat room. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. That's very good to see. So yeah, 2 million views on the Aviation Pro channel. It's quite astonishing. I didn't expect this at all, you know, that this channel would grow this big and that those videos would be so much by a lot of different people from all over the world. So hello everyone, people more coming in. Audio is perfect, good to hear that. Of course, I cannot reply to every comment that I see, but you know, when I'm done with my little story, I will be able to answer some questions as well. I mean, there's plenty of room to answer some questions. So yeah, Happy New Year, everyone! Absolutely. Of course, the new year 2017 is fresh and just started, and I hope you had a great time with the holidays and in well, no, the New Year's Eve. Okay, good to see everyone. Yeah, so yeah, new year with a lot of opportunity, I hope, and with a lot of new videos. So yeah, I'd just like to give you a little bit of a review of 2016, what happened at Aviation Pro, and kind of tell you what my plans are for 2017, because it's going very well with the channel, and that's mainly thanks to you guys. You know, the viewers, the people who comment, like, and share the videos, and of course my patrons over at patreon.com to support the channel. It's very much appreciated and has enabled me to grow this channel to the next level, as yeah, that's what I wanted to do last year, and I think that worked out pretty well. So yeah, 2 million views. I mean, this channel started in 2010 in March. If you're with me for a longer time, you probably know. In 2010, you know, just some small videos, all using FS 2004. And then kind of started to roll in 2011, 2012, you know, with even newer videos. And, you know, since 2013, I've producing all those VETSIM full flight videos, which became really popular. And yeah, that's of course amazing to see that those videos get watched by so many people. Apparently, it's a lot of fun and a lot of fun to make. And still to this day, I'm able to make those full flights. And of course, for 2017, there will be no different. Now in 2016, I mean, I had a total amount of let's take a look, 650,000 views. So it accounts for more than a quarter of the 2 million views that we are at now. So that's quite amazing. This year has really brought in a lot of views and you know, a lot of new subscribers as well. So I thank you for subscribing, and you'll probably see this live stream showing up in your subscription feed right now, so that's good. So yeah, that's amazing to have all those views and to see that 2016 has been such a good year. Now, mainly one of the most popular videos, just so you know, just for fun, is the Boeing 747-400 startup tutorial that I made, you know, in FS 2004 using the iFly 747. It's still the most watched video, you know, every single day. That's quite fun to see. And of course, with the release of the new PMDG 747 that's coming up, it's probably, I think that's the reason why that video is so popular. People already want to kind of get to know what it's like to start up the 747. So yeah, that's of course great. And then the most popular video that's on my channel that actually went viral, I think last year, was the video that was about the Transavia Boeing 737 that was in wind shear trouble. the live ATC from that event. I mean, that was my first and so far only video that actually went viral in the Netherlands. It's quite crazy to see a video go viral. If you take a look at my Facebook page, you can see the graph of those 2 million views over the past 6 years, and you can see this little peak, which represents this video going viral. So that's quite amazing. That happened, and that makes it one of the most watched videos on my channel, I think, with about 150,000 views. So anyways, that's a little bit of a review of 2016 for you. So yeah, again, thank you, and all the people who have been watching the videos over the past few years for supporting the channel. I'd like to thank my patrons personally for your support. It really has enabled me to put more time and effort in my videos, and I think also by using Prepared, a new simulator, and newer add-ons, I've been able to take the channel to the next level. And want to thank all the people who have inspired me over the past years for making those videos, because ever since 2010, I've met a lot of people with online and in real life that enabled me to create these videos. So thank you all, really much appreciated. Okay, so for 2017, what can you expect? I'm trying to, of course, to go on with the FATSIM videos, as you know it, the FATSIM full flights, exploring new areas, and joining more events more regularly. Luckily, I'm in a position now that I have my own room here in Rotterdam while I'm studying, that I can easily make flights that way and share them with you. Oh, I think it went blank for a second there. Oh, anyways, so that's great. Yeah, for 2017, one of my main projects would be is to kind of update all those FATSIM tutorials that I made. I mean, in 2014, I think, when I started videos for the P1 Pilots Rating Program of the FATSIM Pilot Training Academy, that is when it got a lot of attention, and that's of course great. But those videos are based on FS 2004, using old pilot clients like FSIN and Squawkbox. In the meantime, a lot of things have changed in the flight simulator world. Prepared, I mean, that's one of the most biggest simulators that really got a lot of attention of people. With the release of vPilot, enables you to connect to the FATSIM network, and a lot of new add-ons released and coming up, of course. So that's quite a big thing, and it would be good to update those FATSIM tutorials. For the beginner level, but I also want to make more tutorials that are more on the advanced level, so that it's not just for newbies, those videos. It's also for some of you who might be experienced FATSIM pilots who just want to have a fun time to watch a video and maybe learn something as well. So that's kind of my plan. That would be quite a big project. I mean, it took a lot of time to create the FATSIM P1 pilot rating videos. I mean, that takes quite a lot of effort, designing the whole video structure and editing and all that stuff. That takes some time. So that's kind of my main project for 2017. And you can expect FATSIM full flights, more regular tutorials, probably on the 737, which still my favorite airplane, and yeah, things like that. So I hope you will enjoy that, and yeah, that you will stay with me for 2017 for those videos, hoping that it will all work out. So yeah, that's kind of all I had to say. Now, of course, this flight simulator world is of course very interesting. It's been growing, I think, a lot over the past few years. I mean, if you just look at the statistics of like the Dutch division of FATSIM, the Dutch VAC, I think over the past few years there have been an increased amount of traffic at Amsterdam, and especially with the new FlyTampa Amsterdam release, a lot of aircraft came in. So that's of course a good sign for the future. and I hope that will stay this way. Of course, that would be great fun. I mean, flight sim. I mean, if I have to explain to people what I'm doing, it's always very difficult. I mean, it seems like such a nerdy world with you know, where you're sitting in your cockpit or your home cockpit for hours. But it's much more than that, of course. I mean, I don't fly that much myself or fly long hauls that much, but it's a much bigger world. It's about management skills. It's about communication skills. And time and planning and decision-making skills even. I mean, that's all part of it. And of course, you do not really learn how to fly an airplane, but you learn how to operate its systems and, the whole environment with FATSIM and professional add-on aircraft like the PMDG 737 that really creates a realistic environment that is so much more than just a game as many people see it. I mean, it's a great learning environment. Every single flight that you make, you learn a lot more. And I kind of personally, I see every flight from A to B as a kind of a project that, that I just want to successfully complete, like any other flight that happens in the real world. So yeah, that's of course a good thing that it's growing. And yeah, so I think we should all take advantage of that, be part of this small community of flight simming and keep on going. So in the meantime, a lot of questions came in already, I think. I'm just going to scroll through, see what I can find. This is not going to be a very long live stream. Feel free to ask any question. I mean, now is the time where I can answer them. So at least you've now seen my review of 2016 and my plans for 2017. If you missed it, you can always scroll back in the video. But now I think it's time to answer some questions. So let's see, we have some already. Yeah, a lot of people coming in. Thank you all for joining in. It's really much appreciated. A happy New Year wishes and people from all over the world. I'm happy to see that. I'd like to know what the weather is like at your side of the world, by the way, because here in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, it's very, very windy. If I look at the METAR at Rotterdam, the winds are 280 degrees, 20 knots, gusting 30. So that's quite a lot of wind in the area. So temperatures are 7, dew point is 1 degrees centigrade, and they expect some more cold weather over the weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. I always love snow and wintry weather. So yeah, let me know what the weather is in your side of the world. So to answer a question, this is from Mita13. Why don't you start streaming? Well, I kind of don't like doing live streams because I personally think that they make the videos boring. I mean, the FATSIM for flights always try to cut all the unnecessary bits away to keep the video interesting, and I just like it more that way. Being able to add subtitles and video effects to really make the video interesting to watch. So rather than just passively flying an airliner on the FATSIM network. So okay, all right. I'm glad to hear that from Stefan, that he picked up the flight sim hobby after 7 years, and he's now coming back into the flight sim community. That's of course great to hear, and that's yeah. I mean, then you are one of those persons that comes back and starts flying again. That's of course really cool. Another question by Jacob Berndsen. Are you going to do more VFR flights? Well, yes, I think so. Because that will be part of the new FATSIM tutorials that I'm planning to make. So there should be room for more VFR tutorials. I don't fly VFR that much, but now with prepared and very nice scenery, I think it will be more enjoyable to fly VFR and also to make tutorials about that. So yeah, VFR is definitely something that will come back hopefully this year. Again, I kind of told you all these plans, but plans do not always work out. I mean, there are real life commitments as well, but at least you kind of have an idea where I'm going. So yeah, VFR hopefully as well. Any other question? Do you like the MD-11? Yeah, I love the MD-11. I love the looks of the airplane. You may have noticed that my channel logo has changed, or it's more like a profile picture. It's not really a logo. So after many years of using the MD-11, which was a picture from my brother when we were doing some spotting in 2008, I think, when you were still able to spot at runway 24 and 06 at Amsterdam, closer to the center. That was a picture of the MD-11, but now I have changed it into the 777. I thought it was time for something new, a bit more brighter picture, and then nice takeoff roll of the 777 KLM from runway 36 left at Amsterdam. So absolutely love the MD-11. It's sad that KLM is, removing them, or has removed them from the fleet, and is removing the 747 slowly as well, and the Fokker 70s, of course, as well. Those are all classic airplanes that we'll definitely miss. So yeah. All right. How old are you? I'm 21. I'm turning 22 on the 17th. So that's next Tuesday. Just so you know. Oh, and then we got some weather reports coming in by Lucky Gaming. Not exactly sure what the exact airport is, but it's Norway. Okay, that's good. That's some snow. Of course, very cold. Yeah, and another town by Ryan Sky, Vlaardingen, very cold. Very windy in Rotterdam and Groningen in the Netherlands. Yeah, absolutely. That's a characteristic of the Dutch weather. Unfortunately, that's what we have to deal with, and what we have to deal with at Amsterdam. Okay, some more questions coming in. Good to see you all posting questions. It's very much appreciated, and I'll try to answer some of them. Any plans for getting into some of the combat flight sims like DCS or Illusion 2, I think? I'm not actually exactly sure what the name of the sim is, but yeah, I've looked into combat flight simulators before. Never purchased any one, but they look really cool. I mean, I love the DCS world, the A-10. I mean, that's one of my favorite combat airplanes of the modern era, I would say. I mean, if you see the A-10, it's just a magnificent airplane, I think. And yeah, I love the fact that it's being simulated so well in DCS. And who knows? Probably not this year, but maybe sometime later I will have a look at it. Let's take a look. Another question. Did you hear that one of the biggest orders of Airbus and Boeing is by Iran Air? Yeah, I've heard about that. So, I mean, there were quite some restrictions on trading with Iran. So, yeah, they open the market right now, and that's good. So that some new airplanes can come in by Boeing and Airbus. So that's good. Another question by Jamie Buchanan. Do you think you will explore ICAO or Pilot Edge? I'm not sure what ICAO is. I know it as the International Civil Aviation Organization, but apparently it's something else as well. I know about Pilot Edge. Yeah, I might try that out sometime, but it's pay where, right? So we have to pay a monthly thing. Yeah, I'm not really sure if I'm flying enough for that to use it. So far, I'm content with the quality of VATSIM. Talking about VATSIM, a lot of people complained about the radio quality on VATSIM lately. It's being unreadable and all that stuff. I can understand that, especially if you're new to the VATSIM network. But I'm going to release a video in a couple of days, I hope, that will discuss that issue and give you some tips on how to deal with the radio quality on VATSIM, and give you some of the reasons why the quality is bad sometimes. And it's not just the VATSIM servers that cause the audio to be bad. I think it's also very much part of how people wear their headsets and what kind of headsets they're using. So stay tuned for that video. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, another weather report from Scotland. Very windy and cold. Yeah, that's Europe for you in the winter. 747 or A380? Well, 747, of course. Absolutely. Then we have, let's take a look. Did I miss a question there? I'm not sure. Another weather report from the US. Again, not sure what airport that is, but another storm. And now it looks very calm. All right. Are you a real pilot? No, I'm not a real pilot. If you if you've watched my videos here on the channel, probably by now know that I'm not a real world pilot. I want to be one, yes. I'm not sure in what kind of form that would be. I'm still studying at university. It's going well. Now in my last year for the bachelor's and then going to the master's. And who knows, after that I might do some flight training. But yeah, of course, that's a big step to make. It's a difficult step to make, especially in these times where the economy is not running fully, at least not in the aviation world. It's very hard to get a job still in Europe. And one of the primary flight schools, KLM Flight Academy, has the problem of not being given a loan anymore by one of the banks here. The ABN AMRO bank stops giving out pilot loans for student pilots. So somehow you have to fund 150,000 euros yourself. Of course, that's not doable. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that. But for now, I'm just studying at university, which I like as well. And I mean, using Flight Simulator, it's a great way to stay in touch with the aviation community, of course, and to do some flying. Although not being real, but still, it's great fun, right? Especially on VATSIM. Are you going to fly more in North America? Yes, I probably will. I might make an Atlantic crossing tutorial this year as well to, or a VATSIM full flights using doing a across the pond thingy. And then afterwards I'll probably make some more videos in North America as well. I really liked the flight from Memphis to Atlanta 2 years ago. So that's a good idea to return to North America, do some flights there. But again, the time zone differences are a bit difficult sometimes. But you can expect more diversity. Also flying in Australia, probably. So stay tuned for that. Let's take a look. All right. Good night, Arthur. Thanks for joining. My favorite aircraft, well, that's the 737. And I'm probably not going to be flying Airbus, by the way. That's just... I'm not familiar with the airplane. And there's just so much more to learn about the 737, the 777, and hopefully with the upcoming PMDG 747 version 3 as well. I mean, I'm just more of a Boeing man, to be honest, and I didn't buy my SciTech yoke for no reason. So I kind of like the philosophy of Boeing better and the looks of the cockpit, but I think I've discussed that many times already and during live streams. All right, there's a question about VATSIM by Jester. What do you do on VATSIM if all the controllers aren't present? Like if there's a departure controller but no tower or ground or clearance? Well, the idea is very simple. Controllers on VATSIM basically use a top-down mechanism. So basically, if you're on this level in the controller, pyramid, as I would call it, you will control everything below you. So in this case, departure will take over all the the tasks of tower, ground, and clearance. And then when ground comes online, he only has to do departure and tower, and then ground will take care of ground and clearance. So just have to you see it as an inverse pyramid where delivery is at the bottom and radar is on the top. And as long as there are no controller below you, that controller will control everything. All right. So if you have only radar online, that guy or girl has to do a heck of a lot of work, doing approach, ground, and delivery. So that's why might get very busy when there's only one controller, and that's why it's better to have multiple controllers. Of course, not just for the realism, but also to take some of the stress away from the other controllers. So that's that's the way it works. Then a question by Ali. Did you ever have flight lessons? Oh, just one for my birthday, which was, let me take a look, 7 years ago or 6.5 years ago, for 15 minutes, which was a lot of fun. But after that, I didn't do any other flying lessons. So maybe for later when I have some more money, because all my money now goes to studying and all that stuff. So yeah. All right. Welcome, Stefan. Thanks for joining in. I'm doing good. Let's take a look. Another question. Just kind of trying to skip through a bit here. There's more coming in. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. It's great to see you guys. And yeah, if you have any more questions left, make sure you ask it now. Do you fly for a virtual airline, or have you done so before? No, I'm not really into virtual airlines because they simply, I don't fly that much myself. It happens to be that I'm now free in January, which is great, so I can do a lot of flying. But in other months, on average, I only make one flight per month. That's not much. So yeah, I'd rather not bind myself to a virtual airline. I just kind of like to make my own flights, with my favorite airlines whenever possible. So. And my voice is going to be, it's crackling a little bit, so I'm just taking a sip of water. That's better. All right. So yeah, the airlines I like flying is KLM, of course, travel service as well for my Central European flights, and yeah. So yeah. Do you like prop airplanes? Yeah, absolutely. I love flying prop planes. I mean, the general aviation airplanes are always fun. And, I didn't really like that in FS 2004, but in Prepared, the ground scenery just looks so much better. So much smoother. You can actually see trees, and the weather is much more realistic. So yeah, I'm more into general aviation airplanes these days than I was when I was using FS 2004. So yeah, it's definitely something to try out more. But of course, there are a lot of airplanes to fly. So yeah, but I definitely like the prop planes, and I might try the Dash 8 sometime as well. So. All right. Another question by Ghostman. Did you ever try the X-Plane 11 beta? No, I didn't. I'm not really into X-Plane. So I've only tried X-Plane 10, but no, I didn't try X-Plane 11. Yeah, just not enough time to try it. And yeah, I'd rather just fly and prepared if I have time to fly. Then we have a comment by Sam. Have you heard of Project Fly? If so, do you use it? I think I've heard about it. Isn't that what Matt Davies uses on his videos? That you can see this overlay and all that stuff? I'm not really sure what it is. Tell me about it. Would you consider setting up a group flight? Yeah, well, if you become a patron via my Patreon page on patreon.com/AviationPro, you might be part of a group flight sometime. For example, last Monday, I flew together with two patrons the Milk Run Monday in Australia, flying from Sydney to Melbourne on a special scenic route, which was a very nice flight. And it's great to, be able to fly this flight together and, talk aviation along the way, when it's not too busy on the frequency. So if you ever want to join a group flight with AviationPro and other patrons, make sure you become a patron, even if it's just for 1 month. I mean, every little bit helps, and you can join the fun a little bit. So yeah, make sure you check that out. I think there's a link in the description to my Patreon page as well, so you can check out what the opportunities are and what kind of rewards that you can get. All right. Then and hello from Russia. Hello, I'm doing good. How are you? Good evening, Philip, and hey Talia, dude. Hello, everyone. Let's take a look. Oh, we got some more questions coming in. There's a lot. Wow. Do I use FSUIPC? Yes, I do, because it's much easier to configure all my controls and buttons and all that stuff. So I do use FSUIPC. Then another question by Ghostman. And what airline company would you like to fly as a pilot in the future? Well, KLM, of course. I mean, that's my home airline, so I would love that. But if I have to be honest, any European airline would do, because I'm not really the type of guy who would go to Asia to get his hours there. If I could, I would just rather just stay in Europe. I prefer it that way. So. But if I have to pick a favorite, that would be KLM, of course, or maybe Transavia in the Netherlands. Let's take a look. Have you checked out the A2A Constellation? Yes, I've heard about the airplane, but I didn't try it yet. So yeah, of course, great airplanes. Also, old airplanes that are getting released, like the new TFDI 717. I mean, it's great to fly some of those classic birds as well. So that's of course very cool. And yeah, A2A Simulations, of course, produces, I think, great airplanes. They're really fun to fly. One I would love to try is, the P-51D Mustang. I think that's a great airplane. So, all right. I might skip some questions here and there because I've answered them on previous live streams a lot already. Hello, everyone. Let's take a look. Which country are you from? Well, I'm from the Netherlands, of course. Someone asked what VATSIM is. Well, VATSIM is the Virtual Air Traffic Simulation Network. So it's a network where people can fly together while being guided around by air traffic controllers. So that creates a very realistic environment using real-world procedures. So, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Check out one of my full flights. There are some links in the description. One is from Berlin to Bratislava, which is the latest one. And I also flew a flight with my buddy Twan from, what was it? Oh, already forgotten what. Oh, it was from Frankfurt to Budapest. Yeah, of course. So a lot of flights to watch there to, to kind of find out what VATSIM is like, because it's a great community and it creates a very realistic environment and really enhances your flight simming experience, I think. So let's take a look. What else do we have? Let's take a look. Do you use an Mopning map? I'm not sure what you mean there. Which is better, FS Labs A320 or Airsoft A320? I don't know about that because I don't fly Airbus. Let's take a look. What do you use to actually plan your flights? Another question by Jamie Buchanan. I'm using SimBrief. Okay, a lot of people are using PFPX, which is also a great flight planner, but SimBrief is for free. Usually I don't really do that much advanced flight planning. I just want to fly as quickly as I can. So, and I don't really make that much flights that I can make the full use of PFPX and really create an advanced flight plan each and every time. SimBrief does the job for me. So check it out, simbrief.com, which is a great website for some basic flight planning. Well, basic, I mean, it provides you with great weather charts. It calculates everything for you, the fuel and all that stuff, basically all the things that PFPX would do for you as well, but then probably less accurate. But it's freeware and it's a great website, so definitely check out SimBrief if you're looking into creating flight plans for your VetSim flights. All right. A moving map. No, I don't use any moving map for my flights. I just don't have time to look at where I'm flying. I kind of know where I'm flying already. So, I mean, if I had some kind of passengers on board with me, maybe it would be nice. But no, I don't do that. All right, some more questions coming in. If you have any questions left, I think I'll officially go till 20 Zulu. So that's 25 minutes left to ask your questions. So make sure you do it now. This is the time to ask your questions. And yeah, so let's take a look if there's anything else. All right. Yeah, Boeing for life. I like that statement. Okay, another question by Jacob Berenson. By the way, would you fly a helicopter? I know there isn't much to do flying helicopters in most civil flight sims. Yeah, I sometimes fly a helicopter for fun. For example, when I'm checking out a new scenery, like the new FlyTampa scenery, kind of the first things I do is get a helicopter and fly around it, so to see what it's like. And yeah, indeed, the flying with helicopters is not very popular in flight simming, I think, but it's a nice addition, I think. And you don't see that much helicopters on VetSim either. I think controllers are sweating a little bit when they see a helicopter because they don't really know what to do. But yeah, I think they mostly treat it like another airplane. But yeah, so I don't really have a helicopter add-on or anything. I'm just taking the default Robinson helicopter for my flights. That usually works. Yeah, so definitely there's not really a big market for helicopters, but who knows, that might change. Maybe in X-Plane there's some good helicopters. Do I fly for myself? Well, of course I do my virtual flights every now and then, and real life I only fly as a passenger sometimes, so really not that much, to be honest. But yeah, okay. What's my name? Yeah, Evert. If you've followed AviationPro, maybe you know it by now. That's the Dutch name. All right. Let's take a look. I missed the controller's instruction once departing Miami and caused a go-around. Have you ever had any awkward or embarrassing moments whilst flying on VetSim? Oh, yes, I have. I mean, when I started with VetSim, that then you make a lot of mistakes, and you feel kind of embarrassed when you encounter something like that. And yeah, that's of course part of the job. That's part of the learning that you have to do when going on to VetSim. But yeah, not really awkward moments, just those kind of moments where one particular moment I remember very well was on a Friday night fly-in of the Dutch VAC flying into Amsterdam from Norwich, and the controller said direct to I think Sugel, and I thought he said Schiphol or Sierra Papa Lima, which is an VOR, not a waypoint, Sugel. So I had to repeat it like 5 times, and I still didn't understand it, and I just logged off. I mean, that's probably the best thing to do at such moments. So, but aside from that, not really much. Of course, I think one time on a departure, controller told me to direct to a VOR station, and I said stand by. Then the controller said, no stand by. You have to direct to that waypoint or VOR station. So. Yeah, as a young VetSim pilot, I made a lot of mistakes too, and kind of embarrassing and awkward moments. But recently, over the past few years, I haven't encountered really such situations. But yeah, it's part of the learning, and it's you can laugh about it later on as you become more used to flying on VetSim. So, all right. All right, let's take a look. What's your nationality? I'm Dutch. No, I'm not a native American speaker. What do you think of piracy? Yeah, of course, that's also a big topic within this flight sim community. I think it's getting better though. I mean, the prices rise of a lot of add-ons I noticed over the past few years as well. So I think piracy is not the biggest issue anymore. I think people are still willing to pay a lot for the add-ons, so that's good. But yeah, of course, with any software, it's part of it, and they have to design systems to kind of counteract that as much as possible. But again, if you engage in piracy, you're just not gonna have the up-to-date products. You're not gonna have the support, and it's not gonna feel as good, I think, when you're using that product. So if I mean, the flight sim community is very small, so I think we should all do our bit as much as we can to support the community this way. Because there are people working for this, and they are, um, they need that money to run their families as well, and to, keep developing add-ons. But judging from the rising prices, I don't think the flight sim community is doing that bad anymore. I think it's doing pretty well, and people are willing to pay more for new add-ons. I mean, if you look at the new TFDI 717, I mean, it's I think $70, 60 to $70. PMDG products are very expensive, so you have to work hard for that in order to get one. So yeah, I don't think it's going bad with the flight sim market. I think the developers are in general pretty happy what they get. So that's what I judge from the high prices. But yeah, of course, it remains an issue always. Then we got some other questions. Hello from Finland. Good evening to you, Nordic spotters. Then another question by Roderick. Do you do some Spain or plane spotting? Yes, I do. About twice a year, I think I go to Schiphol with a friend to do some spotting, which is always great fun. I might be going soon again to do some winter spotting if that's possible. So definitely, I love spotting airplanes. Also part of the hobby. I mean, this hobby is so diverse. I mean, you have flight simming. Then for me, as a YouTuber, the video editing comes with it, and creating the videos. And spotting is also part of it. Absolutely. I mean, it's you kind of have to recharge that aviation battery every now and then, to realize what you're simulating all the time, right? So definitely, it's great fun. Another question by Jester. Another Fatsum question. When do you switch to Unicom frequency? Well, usually ATC will tell you to switch to Unicom because there's simply no ATC left. Or if you start a flight and there's no ATC around, you have to start on Unicom yourself. So yeah, it's either way, ATC will tell you, or you just start a flight with Unicom. All right, another weather report from Malta. Good evening to you. It's windy and extremely cold. Yeah, I guess most of Europe is windy and extremely cold today, which I like. I mean, it would be sad if we don't have any winter left. And the wind here is kind of howling between all those big buildings and the trees here, so it's kind of nice. All right. Greetings from Poland. Good evening to you. Have you ever played as ATC on Fatsum? Well, played. You don't play Flight Simulator, right? Or play ATC. But I get what your question is. Yes, I have been a ground controller at Amsterdam a couple of years ago. But simply, I like the flying better, and all the time that I have for this hobby, I would like to spend to flying instead. Okay, so have you ever thought about flying to South America, either virtually or passenger in real life? Well, passenger, probably not, far away, and probably will cost a lot of money for a ticket, maybe for work sometime in the future. Yeah, you never know. I'm not really familiar with the South America area. I mean, all my Fatsum flights have so far taken place in Europe and North America and also Australia recently, but South America is still a region that I need to discover. I'm not really sure how active it is. I mean, again, there's a time zone difference. So when I look on apps like FatMap, I rarely look at the Americas because usually there's no HC when I check that. So unless I wake up very early in the morning or go to bed very late. But yeah, it's definitely something to check out sometime as well. So yeah, maybe if that's some full flight sometime, I will keep you posted. Are you gonna do some full flight videos with the 777? Yeah, I think so. I've been doing a couple flights with the 777. It's doing very well. I love it. The flying is quite different from the 737, but of course the systems are quite similar. Yeah, more easy even, or easier. Yeah, it's a great airplane to discover more about, and yeah. So I think you will see the 777 in one of my future VETSIM videos. So stay tuned for that. Do I have Instagram? I don't have Instagram. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm just using Facebook actually and Twitter for the channel as well. But yeah, that's about it. All right, some final questions coming in. I'm closing off soon, so if you have anything left, make sure you post your question now. You still can. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna get a winter storm in the Netherlands. Well, yeah. Hopefully it's not going to be that bad. I mean, if there's a winter storm in the Netherlands, I mean, whole public transportation goes down usually, and I kind of have to travel as well in January. So I hope not. But yeah, I'd love to see some winter weather and do some winter flights and prepare it as well. Flying into the new FlyTampa Amsterdam scenery, that's of course great. So yeah, we'll see what we get. Absolutely. By Javier, KLM flies to the South Americas. Yeah, absolutely, with the 777. So, I mean, well, again, I don't do those long hauls very often. So, it would rather be a regional flight in South America if I would ever join a flight in South America for VETSIM. All right. Jester, you're welcome. Have a good flight. Thanks for joining in. What do I think about Finland? Do I love it? I don't know. I've never been to Finland. Never in real life and never in the simulator. I've been to Norway in real life, which is great. So I bet Finland should be the same. Yeah. So, I've flown into Finland. Of course I have. I've produced a VETSIM video about that. That's a long time ago. Flying from Minsk to Helsinki. But I didn't really see that much of Finland because it was night and there was only one controller at Finland. So not one of my best VETSIM videos, but yeah, I've visited Finland. I can say that. So yeah, definitely Scandinavia is still on my list for future VETSIM videos. So stay tuned for that. And let's take a look. Jacob, see you around. Yep, stay tuned for the VETSIM videos. Am I gonna ever buy a pay-aware Airbus? No, again, probably not, because I'm just a Boeing man and I just like to discover a lot more about those airplanes. Gabi FS asks when I first started YouTube. Well, as I said in the beginning of the video, was in March 2010. I think the exact date, by the way, is March 4th. Is it right? I'm looking at my Facebook page. I think it should be there. Oh. Maybe on YouTube somewhere. I think it's March 4th. That's my channel birthday. So that's quite a long time ago, isn't it? And if you look at my channel, by the way, it doesn't yet say 2 million views. But that's kind of the number that I got from yesterday. So by now, today, I've already passed that number. So I should have passed 2 million views right now. And of course, also the app and YouTube for my iPhone and iPad also show I'm over 2 million. So rest assured, I have passed 2 million by now. But as far as my channel, yeah, it's March 4th, 2010. So yeah, that's a long time ago, almost 7 years. Okay, let's take a look. We got some final questions coming in. Let's take a look. Kind of, oh, Norway and Finland are best friends. Is that true? I don't know. Let's take a look. Jamie says there's a convention every year in the UK, the Royal Air Force Station Gosford. Yeah, I'm not sure about my travels for next year yet. But yeah, I'd love to join some kind of real life event sometime. By the Dutch division of VETS, and maybe abroad sometime as well. Or the what they called in Lelystad every year, the flight sim days in Lelystad. It's definitely something I want to go to as well. But usually I have exams in the periods that they organize that, so that's kind of bad. But yeah, some real life events would be very nice to join and meet up with some of you guys. That would be great. Let's take a look. All right, you're welcome. Speaking of Boeing, what's your favorite Boeing airline? Well, the 737. Yeah, 757 is great. And I don't know a lot about the 717, so I'm not sure if I'm going to try that one out. It's quite an expensive airplane. Well, as I said, just like any airplane, of course, PMDG as well. But for now, I stick with the more modern jetliners, and I think I'll save my money for the upcoming 747 by PMDG because that's just a magnificent airplane, of course. And I have some experience flying the iFly, but that airplane is not as advanced as the PMDG looks, and it was great for FS 2004, but I think it's time to move on to PMDG airplanes when I'm using prepared. So I'm kind of saving up for that one. It's more, especially while KLM still flies the 747 in the real world. It would be great to fly that airplane in my VETSIM flights while I still can, while it's still realistic. Okay. Then we have a question by Nicole. Does FS 2004 add-ons work in FSX? No, they don't. Add-ons in FS 2004 have different code from FSX and prepared add-ons. Some sceneries might work here and there, but in general, aircraft, no, absolutely not. They really need a different code for that. So, for me also, though, it was a big step moving from FS 2004 to prepared and getting new add-ons and all that stuff. I'm glad I did it though, and I'm glad that I skipped FSX actually. I mean, FSX is a lot like prepared, but prepared is just so much better regarding performance and memory clearing. So I'm glad that I made the step actually. So yeah, unfortunately, FS 2004 add-ons are not compatible with prepared or FSX. When I'm gonna do the next VETSIM flight, I don't know yet. Really, as always, that depends on my own schedule and on 8C availability. So yeah, that really depends on that. So I can't tell anything in advance about that, unfortunately. But usually, if my patrons kind of get to know where I'm flying, so if you wonder why you get to know that, you can become a patron on my Patreon at patreon.com/AviationPro. You can find more secrets about future VETSIM flights and where they will take place and when I will be flying on the VETSIM network. So that's definitely something to check out. All right, Handy, thank you for that. Yeah, 2 million views. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna close off soon, guys. I've reached some of the final questions here that I will answer. So I'd like to thank you already for joining in. Really much appreciated. I hope you liked this little live stream to talk aviation and VETSIM a little bit, and to celebrate the fact that the channel has 2 million views. So one of the last few questions: when will you shift to the 777? Well, I'm not shifting to airplanes really. I mean, I still fly the 737, so it's gonna be a mix of both. why not IVAO? I like VETSIM better because it's more professional. And yeah, for me, it's about quality, not quantity, as I always say. Pimi asks, do you I'm talking Dutch English right now. Are you doing A2C sometimes? Yeah, well, as I said before, I've been a ground controller at Amsterdam, but I'm not, willing to spend my free time to A2C that much. I rather prefer to fly. Although it must be very enjoyable for the controllers though at Amsterdam. When I became a controller, it was one of those years where it was really quiet on VETSIM, and the flight sim community was not really moving. And being a controller on delivery is very boring then, and ground, yeah. I mean, not many traffic, and usually when I was controlling, there was just not enough traffic for it to be enjoyable. But right now, I think that's a different story. I mean, if you look at the numbers at Amsterdam, I mean, great amount of airplanes coming in every night, thanks to the new FlyTampa scenery. So that's great fun. Okay, one last question by Esat Akar. Do you experience any fast issues while flying prepared? No, I haven't experienced any out-of-memory errors as of yet. Even flying into Amsterdam, I haven't, the new scenery. A lot of people have out-of-memory errors, mainly people using FSX. I haven't experienced any of that, and I'm hoping that FlyTampa will fix it because, yeah, I agree. If you release scenery for FSX, you kind of need to expect it to run. That you're not just able to fly around the airport, but that you're actually able to make a full flight from A to B from another airport in another region. So I'm hoping that FlyTampa will do something to fix those issues. There's quite a few issues to be fixed still by the FlyTampa. In general, the scenery looks fine, but indeed, if you look in the forums, some more issues are popping up, usually small, but I think the out-of-memory issue is definitely one of the big things. So I'm hoping that it will fix it. But for me, in prepared, I haven't experienced any out-of-memory error as of yet. So yeah, definitely stay tuned with that on the FlyTampa forums. I think they will release a new update in the upcoming weeks. So yeah, that's about it. So I'll stop the live stream here. I thank you all for joining in. I'm glad to have being able to answer some of your questions, and thank you for taking part in this little celebration of 2 million views. It's really much appreciated. And again, thank you for being supporter of the AviationPro channel. Thank you for viewing my videos and all that. It's really much appreciated, of course. And yeah, I hope 2017 will be great with a lot of videos again. And I can't do that without your support. So thank you for that. And yeah, so that's about it. Just so you know, one of the first videos that's probably going to come up, as I told, is going to be the video about how to deal with radio quality on VETSIM. It's quite interesting. I hope it will help some people out. And probably another VETSIM full flight in January or early February. So stay tuned for that. Again, I cannot say anything about the destination yet. So it depends on ATC availability and my own schedule. So you will find more about that on my Patreon page if you're a patron, or on Facebook and Twitter later on. So thank you for joining in, and I will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone, or morning, wherever you are, or afternoon. And yeah, thanks for joining, and I'll close the live stream. Bye-bye.